G'day guys, Casey here from Lured In Fishing. Today I would like to show you how I like to set up my spinnerbaits, and that is with a soft plastic running on the back of them as well as a stinger hook. So, first thing we're going to do is put our soft plastic on the back of our spinnerbait. Now it doesn't matter what type of plastic you use as long as it is the correct kind of size to suit that spinnerbait, and personally I like to match the colours up nicely. I find it to be aesthetically pleasing, and I find if the fish want a bright coloured spinnerbait, they probably want a bright coloured plastic, and vice versa. So this particular white spinnerbait, white soft plastic, this is a 4-inch bait junkie grub, which is ideal kind of size to suit a spinnerbait of this kind of size. So what we're going to do is rig that up on our spinnerbait exactly as we would putting a soft plastic on a jig head. I find it important with the grub style soft plastics that we actually rig them the right way up, and the reason being, when this is swimming, that tail is going to flare out like so, and it's going to be nice and out the way of our hook points. If you go backwards, sometimes they can fold over the back there and hook up on those points. So make sure you're going the right way up, rigging it up as we would a soft plastic. So line him up. A little bit harder to do with the spinnerbait arm there, so just take your time with it. Nice and central. Work it up the hook. These have a little kind of midway guidance groove on them, which makes them a little bit easier again. And then we can slowly work that up onto the back. Little keeper of that spinnerbait. Now with these 10x soft plastics, it can take a little bit of doing just to get them to actually push up on there and grab. But once it's on there nice and straight like so, we're laughing. Now, we've added a fantastic looking soft wiggly bit to the back, right where our hook is. So that's hopefully where fish are going to bite. Because we've added that bit of profile, what I like to do is add a trailer hook. Now the reason being, if we have something nipping at the tail here, we want to be able to hook them still. So when we're picking out a trailer hook for a spinnerbait, it is really, really important to look for two key things. Number one, an inline hook, no offset, with a horizontal eye. Now when I say a horizontal eye, most of your hooks are a horizontal eye, just standard hooks, but a lot of single lure hooks will be kind of a vertical eye. So horizontal eye, running sideways like that, so opposite to the hook point. Inline, no offset, it's not going to act as a keel, it's going to sit nice and straight behind that spinnerbait, and it's going to do exactly what we want it to do. When we're selecting our size, you don't want it to protrude any further than the back of the plastic. You don't want it dangling too far out. Keep it in the body of that plastic, that's where the fish is going to bite, and that's where we're going to hook him. So the other thing that is really important to look for is a hook with a really nice big eye. And the reason being is we need to get that eye over this hook here and over that barb. The eye of specifically made trailer hooks are usually about twice the size of a standard eye. So you'll get them over most hooks, no worries at all. Inline hooks with big eyes are sometimes a little bit challenging to find. You will often find them in a lot of fly hooks. So a lot of hooks designed for fly tying will have that kind of inline big eye, especially for saltwater fly fishing. As an example, the Gamakatsu Siwash, fantastic hook for doing this kind of thing. Gamakatsu SL12s as well, come in a range of sizes right the way from like a size 8 all the way up to like a 12.0, so really, really big one for your really big spinnerbaits. They have that big eye and they're fully inline, no offset. So a couple of ways we can rig that trailer hook. The easiest way I find, especially for these small spinnerbaits, is by using a little piece of plastic tube or a little piece of heat shrink. Now, this works an absolute treat, and it is by far the easiest of ways to get our hook onto the back of our spinnerbait and keep it in place. We're going to press that plastic tube so it's kind of now oval shaped, and we're going to try and get that just over the eye of our hook there. So we're slowly working that on. Kind of just got to get it big enough to the point where it gets over to that other side. Just getting there now. Now with heat shrink, it's important that you're going the correct size, that it does shrink down to small enough. Once we get this, just got to work it on in there with this clear plastic tube. There we go. Press, press, press. Now once it gets around to the other side of that eye, it's going to grab on quite nicely. Now once we've put it over the eye of our hook there, we've worked on to where we want. Grab a pair of scissors, we can cut off the excess tube. Now it doesn't matter if it's kind of super tight on there or not. Once we have put it onto the other hook, it is going to stay on there really, really nicely. So the whole idea is this is essentially going to act as a bit of a stiff rig. So it's going to stop this hook from moving around too much when it's on the other hook. And once our barb goes through this plastic tube, it's not going to come back out in a hurry. So we're going to come in from the back of our plastic tube there on our hook. We're going to want our hook facing the same way as our other hook. So in from the back, try and get it as central as you can. Make sure you don't hook yourself when you're doing this. You're just going to pop it through. And because it's in that plastic tube, it's just created a small hole. It's nice, in line, relatively stiff. It's not flopping around everywhere. And it gives us a perfect little trailer hook on the back of our small spinnerbait there. Works really, really well. It's in line. It's going to swim great. And if a fish comes anywhere near the tail of this soft plastic, it is going to get pinned, which is exactly what we want. We press that down just a little bit so that it's all nice and straight, and there you have a trailer hook rigged up on our spinnerbait. There are other ways you can do it by actually rigging that hook in through the plastic. It also works very, very well, but is much, much more time consuming, and you have to be much, much more precise. If you are looking for quality trailer hooks, heap of different brands make them. Gamakatsu actually make a proper pre-made trailer hook that comes with the hook and the correct sized tubing to suit. Decoy do a very similar thing, but if you can't find them, anything with that horizontal big eye as well as a nice inline point, absolutely ideal and super, super effective for catching more fish on spinnerbaits.